Before we dive into the world of forgotten treasures, take a second to hit that subscribe button. If you're someone who appreciates history, hidden gems, and the thrill of unexpected value, then this channel is your new home. Don't miss what's coming next. Now let me take you back to the year 1994, a year of global change, but especially in South Africa, a nation standing at a major turning point in its history. That year marked the dawn of a new era as apartheid came to an end and a free democracy began. In the background of these political waves, something seemingly insignificant was being minted. A tiny, copper-colored coin, the 1 cent piece of South Africa. Most people never paid much attention to it. Small, light, and often lost in pockets, drawers, or between car seats. It was the kind of coin you'd overlook, toss into a jar, or use to make exact change at the store. But what if I told you that this same humble coin, if preserved in the right condition, could today be worth as much as $65,000? Yes, you heard that right. Let's look at what makes this particular coin so special. The 1994 1 cent coin is small in size, about the width of a shirt button. It's made from copper-plated steel, giving it that warm reddish tone. On one side, it proudly features South Africa's national coat of arms, a detailed emblem representing the unity and strength of the country. On the other side, two tiny Cape sparrows rest gently on a branch, surrounding the coin's denomination. One seed, and it's a beautiful design, really. Simple, yet filled with symbolism. It represents a country at peace, a moment in history captured in metal. And because of its year, 1994, it has a special place in South African history. But that's only part of the reason it's become such a hot topic in collector circles. Now, millions of these coins were minted for daily use. So yes, the majority are common and easy to find, and in worn-out condition, they're not worth much. But here's the key: condition is everything. Like in most collectibles, a common item becomes extremely valuable when it's rare and in near-perfect shape, that if someone, somehow, managed to keep this coin untouched, away from moisture, air, and friction. If it was never dropped, never rubbed against other coins, and still has its full original shine, then it becomes something else entirely. Not just a coin, but a time capsule. Coins like this are sometimes graded by professionals using a numerical scale. The highest grades, such as Mint State 67 or above, are rare and incredibly sought after. These are the coins that stand out at auctions. Collectors and investors look for them because they combine history, condition, and scarcity. Even more rare than mint condition pieces are proof coins, special editions struck with extra care, usually for collectors or government archives. If one of those surfaces, its value could skyrocket overnight. But let me paint a more personal picture. Imagine you're in your workshop, going through an old tin of coins your father or grandfather left behind. Among the faded silver and copper, you spot a small reddish coin. 1994, South Africa, 1 cent. You feel a strange pull. It looks different, almost too clean. You take a closer look. No scratches, no wear. The detail is sharp, like it was just struck yesterday. You start to wonder, could this be one of the rare ones? You send it to a professional coin grading service. It comes back as nearly flawless. A top-grade specimen. Within days, the emails start. Offers come in. Dealers make inquiries. Collectors are whispering. One particularly wealthy collector wants it for his historical coin set. He's willing to pay more than most would ever imagine. This isn't a fantasy. Stories like this happen more often than you think. Not always with this coin, but with similar ones that seemed worthless at first glance. And let's face it, for many of us, there's something deeply satisfying about uncovering hidden value. It's not just about money. It's about discovery, about history, about the thrill of realizing you've been holding onto something extraordinary without even knowing it. So why does this coin matter today? Because it reminds us that value can be hidden in plain sight. That things we often ignore, like a single cent, can hold stories, history, and sometimes fortune, especially for those who take the time to look closer. Now, I know many of you watching this are collectors yourselves. Or maybe you're new to the hobby, curious about the coins lying around your home. Maybe you're retired, enjoying your time, finally going through old boxes and drawers. Maybe you're just looking for a little excitement in your day. Well, here it is. Check your old coins. Look for that 1994 1 cent from South Africa. Examine its condition carefully. Hold it to the light. Look at the detail. Look for signs it hasn't been touched much. If you think you've got something special, get it professionally appraised. You could be sitting on a surprise. And now, as promised, here's the number that makes this entire story worth listening to. In the right condition, with the right certification, the 1994 South African 1 center coin has been known to command offers as high as $65,000. That's right. 1 cent 65,000. It's rare. It's exceptional. But it's real. And it could be in your hands right now. So, what are you waiting for? Dig into those old boxes. Revisit those jars full of change. Look twice at what you thought was worthless. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. There are more stories like this coming, and you won't want to miss a single one. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. Keep collecting. And who knows, maybe the next great find is already sitting in your pocket.
Before we dive in, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell, because today we're unlocking a hidden treasure few people even realize they might hold. If you have a coin collection, or ever stared at an old coin and wondered, could this be worth something big? This video is for you. You might think of old coins as dusty curiosities, relics of the past, with sentimental value at best. But sometimes, in that same drawer of worthless change, lies a quiet bombshell, a coin whose story and rarity make it far more valuable than anyone expects. Today we're going to walk you through one such coin, the 1988 1 cent from South Africa, and why, in the right hands or under the right conditions, it could become a legend. Imagine this, a coin designed decades ago, that saw everyday use in pockets and tills, now sitting underappreciated, yet bearing a story of changing times, shifting value, and hidden potential. For many older men, the thrill lies not just in the numbers, it's the journey, the history, the chance that something you overlooked could transform into something remarkable. Let's begin by unfolding the story of this 1988 1 cent, how it came to be, what it symbolized, and why numismatists, coin experts, still study it today. In 1988, South Africa was under transition, politically, economically, socially. The coinage of the country reflected both the old order and the shift toward new realities. The 1 cent coin of 1988 was made of bronze, weighed 3.0 grams, and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. It carried the national coat of arms on one side, SUID Africa *, South Africa * 1988 *, and on the reverse 2 Cape sparrows perched on a branch, with the 1C denomination, and designer initials subtly inscribed. What's more, the mintage was not trivial, about 240 million pieces were struck. That means many of these coins were in broad circulation. So how could any single one be worth much? That's exactly what makes rarity, condition, errors, and context matter so much in the coin world. The 1988 1 cent was in circulation only briefly. Shortly thereafter, the smaller copper-plated steel version would replace it in 1990. That relatively short lifespan in active use helps create a wedge for scarcity, especially in high-grade, uncirculated examples. Why some are worth more than others every collector knows. Condition is king. A heavily worn coin, scratched or corroded, holds little beyond its face value, or scrap metal. But an example that escaped handling damage, with original luster, clear details, crisp edges, that's where real value lives. Add to that rare varieties or mint errors, misstrikes, doubled dies, planchet flaws, and you may hold something truly exceptional. Also, coins that remain in museum grade, professionally graded slabs gain trust in premium prices. Many buyers will pay not just for the coin, but for the assurance that it has been authenticated and graded by a trusted authority. Furthermore, provenance, where it came from, presentation, packaging or proof sets, and history, or any connected to notable events or collections, all add to the narrative, and narrative sells. The collector's perspective. For a man in his mid-50s to mid-60s, the draw is often emotional as well as financial. We grew up collecting, trading, saving, sometimes dismissing old coins as worthless, only to see someone else point out their hidden worth decades later. The pride in uncovering a gem. Few recognize that sense of mastery resonates of this 1988 South African one center stands at that intersection, common enough that many will dismiss it, yet with possibilities that demand a closer eye. Show your coin under good lighting. Examine the edges. Does the SUID Africa * South Africa * 1988 * legend look crisp? Can you still see the fine feathers on the sparrows? These features tell the tale of preservation. Now, here's where things get interesting. Imagine a scenario, one of these 1988 1 cents, pristine, with a genuine minting error unseen before. No collector sees it yet. A few buyers line up after a YouTube video like this, and suddenly you hear someone sold one for $3 million. It makes headlines, coin forums erupt, and your coin, if you held that rare, perfect example, skyrockets in perceived value. Now, I don't assert that a 1988 South African 1 center has in fact sold for $3 million. But the legend of what if your coin was the one outlier is a powerful narrative. And narratives sell, especially among seasoned collectors or amateur prospectors in their golden years who still dream of the big find in the drawer. So as you inspect your coin, think, could this be extraordinary? And even if it's not the next multi-million-dollar surprise, the journey of discovery, of learning, of upgrading from just an old cent to an example a collector wants, that's the reward. If you own one of these 1988 1 cents, or any old coin, here's what to do next: inspect carefully, take sharp photos, compare to known high-grade examples, and if confident, seek grading. And whether yours ends up worth $1 or enters collector lore, you now know what to look for. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe now and hit the bell. We'll explore more coins, untold values, and hidden gems. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll hold a coin whose worth becomes the talk of the collector's world. Until next time, keep your coins safe, your eyes sharp, and your curiosity alive. P.S. Could a 1988 South African 1 center ever reach a $3 million valuation? In legend or headline, maybe. In reality, only the rarest, flawless, certified anomalies might approach something extraordinary. But dreaming is part of the thrill.